It's January 26th. I've already marked my other calendar. Today, what I'm going to do is go back to my 2015 calendar that Kathy Hand gave me, that I marked all through the year last year. And if you've been with me that long, you will remember all the markings we did in this calendar. And I'm going to do the January page. I'm going to base it on inspiration drawn from the page that they gave me in the calendar. This page is adventure, is not outside yourself, it is within. Now mine's not going to be exactly like this. It's not going to even probably look close to that. I'm just going to draw from the colors, maybe the style of flower, the inspiration. That's all it is. I'm not trying to copy this. So I'm going to be taking my January page. It's already been marked and sort of a background's pre-started for me, and begin with that. I'm going to probably do it in fast forward. And then at the end of the video, I'll come back and say hello or goodbye or whatever to you guys. Real quick before I get started, the last couple days has been busy for me, not art-wise, otherwise. But I did sit down yesterday and just took some index cards and I just did some finger painting and playing. And I thought these turned out really cute. I love the painterly finger painting look. I just love it. I did put this on Instagram. I am now using Instagram, so if you use it and want to follow me, you can find me using my YouTube channel name, Laurie Richardson Haley. I will put it on Facebook eventually if you follow me on Facebook, so you'll see it there if you don't have Instagram, but I just haven't had a chance to put it on Facebook yet. I did not do a video. So, okay, let's get started on our page and we'll see what the outcome is. I have no idea. All I did so far was I pulled out, I'll give you a good look at this page first. Because when I create, I have to do it like this because this is long, and if I do it this way, you won't be able to see the page. So I'm just going to kind of prop it up there as I work on the page so you can see what I'm working on. And the page has got yellows, pinks, green, black, a little bit of well, there's a little bit of yellow, but I think it's because of the background here. Anyway, I pulled out greens, yellows, pinks, an orangey color, some white, and some black. And the first thing I'm going to do is push back my background with the gesso. I'm going to give it a light coat, and then we'll go from there. I have no idea what I'm going to do from there, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, okay? Hope you enjoy it, and I will be back with you in a little bit. Okay, so far, here's the background. I'll give you a close look since I can't get you as close as I'd like. You can still see some of the markings from the last year that I put on there as I went along and created. And I don't know if you can see it. Let me back up a little bit. I have a bunch of, excuse me, leftover paint here on my mat. And I've told you this before, but I just take an index card, and I'm going to show you this for a specific reason. I just take an index card, and I'll wipe off the extra paint on the card, and then something will come of it at some point. You just never know what. Okay, and the reason I'm showing you this is because These that I showed you at the beginning of the video, these came about because of a card just like this that I started. What I did was I took an index card and I had some leftover paint, and I took my finger and I was wiping off my finger on the card. So that's how this card here is what started this. So you never know what's going to inspire you and what you're going to be able to draw from. So, and this one, you know, could be a flower, could turn it into, it could be a broom, it could be a volcano blowing, anything you want. So anyway, I'm going to clean up this little mess here, and then we'll move on to the next part. I'll have to think about it though and see what I'm going to do. Real quick, I'm going to share with you what else I'm going to do. I decided to draw some black lines in. I thought I might put some little vases or something on here, but as I was looking at this, I realized that the marks I had made throughout the year underneath the yellow are still showing through, like I told you, but there's one here, and one here, which kind of line up with where I put the little, I don't know, shelves, whatever you want to call them, little lines. So I'm going to use those markings for my flowers that I'm drawing inspiration from here. And then I don't know. We'll just see. But I thought I'd tell you that real quick first so you know why I'm placing them where I'm placing them, because there are marks here that I can use as my guideline. take a quick peek. Nope, we're not going to peek at anything while my paper sticks. There we go. Alright, that's where we're... Oh boy, y'all are so close. There. Well, I'll leave you there because that's where you need to be for me to paint. Okay, so that's where we're at so far. That's the main page, and it's just going to be, when you flip through, you see their art, my art. Fun little flip through. So, let's move on. I've got more to do. I got to think about it a minute and figure out what to do next. Guys, I'm going to call this quits. I don't want to add any letters or anything like that or words because I did leave the word January here so you could still see it. You can no longer see any of the grid of the calendar behind everything I did, and I'm okay with that. On some of these you might be able to, depending on what I do to the page, but on this particular page it did get lost, pushed back behind everything. But on the front, you'll be able to tell it's a 2015 calendar, and you'll be able to tell this is January, so I'm okay. Anyway, this is the page that I drew inspiration from. I used colors and the flower. I love to make flowers like that anyway. I think I showed you a canvas I did like that a while back. But, what else? I did bring in some blue, which I can't seem to avoid. I love these two colors of blue, and I just always use them. So I brought in the black down here, and just, I don't know, just played and had fun. I really enjoyed doing this. It was fun. I look forward to doing the next month, which is going to be pink and orange and black and white, which will be fun. And that's the starter. That's what's covered so far. So that's what happened. Now, as you noticed while I was filming the video and I finished using a paint color, you probably couldn't see all the paints that I set over here in between times when I would shut off the camera. But I took the excess paint and I put it on a card. So since we're here and I sped that part up, hopefully this video won't be too long. Let's go ahead and finish this card. I'll do it in fast forward also so that you don't have to sit and watch me do everything. And to see what we get with the card, okay? So let's go into fast forward. So this is it so far. It looks a little, you know, smushy because it's not a smooth coat of paint, but that's okay. It's just an ICAD, just play. It's just a leftover ICAD that we put extra paint on. And you see I have extra paint sitting here on my table, and you see I've started this ICAD with the yellow, so we're just gonna wipe up the purple. And then you have the start of another ICAD and probably enough paint to start another one, but I want it all off on this one. So, well, wait a minute. We've got one here that's kind of started, so wipe it up on that. You never know what you're going to get, and nothing is wasted. Okay, so let's keep going. That's where we're at. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to layer put a layer of decoupage on it and make it nice and sealed and give it a little sheen. And then I might bring in my Posca pens. I don't know till I get there, but that's the next step after I've got it all painted and filled in the way I want it to seal it. I think we're going to call this done. Adding the white at the end and then wiping it back kind of gave it a little of a, I don't know, distressed kind of look, whitewashed, something like that. Anyway, that's all I'm going to do to it, and that's just created from excess paint on a card, like I told you during the video. So let's go back to our calendar. This is our inspiration page, and this is what we created from that. And I think you're too close, but I usually get you going the wrong way anyway. And then this is our card that we created from the paint that was left over from this, except the purple. We brought in purple to fill in, and I don't know, we added some stuff, but the majority of the paint that was put down is from this. So that's what we got. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you will take something and turn it into something pretty, and enjoy the process. That's what it's all about. Okay, see you guys later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.